It's the Binge Bum Podcast. Whoa, it's time to talk about our favorite shows from all the streaming networks all across the globe, from Netflix to Hulu to Disney Plus and HBO. Get ready for fun and lots of show reviews. It's Binge Bum coming to you.
It's another Friday. It's October 22nd. It's time for another episode of your favorite podcast, all about your favorite streaming networks.
Is this the scary Halloween episode?
No, that's next week. Yeah, speaking of that, yeah, we're putting together a little Halloween episode for next Friday, and I think this is probably going to happen one more time too, where we're going to break our rules and actually feature some fun Halloween films and series that you can find on streaming, not necessarily having to be originals.
Right. So they weren't
where to go find Ghostbusters and Gremlins and the Ghoulies. Yeah. I was doing some research this morning.
Great. All the great Halloween classics that weren't necessarily made for streaming because they were made before streaming, but they're available for you to watch on streaming.
Exactly. And there's a lot. Yeah. There's a lot. So that is going to be our October 29th episode.
There you go. So everything else that we talk about from here on out on today's show was made just for streaming.
These are streaming originals, yes. Yeah. Let's start with some Amazon Prime news. Amazon Studios will release Bee and the Ricardos in theaters on December 10th and globally on Prime Video on December 21st.
So 11 days later. I wonder why they're not doing a day and date. I guess they want to try to get people out to the theaters.
They want some money, man.
Which is fine. So they finally put out a trailer for this long-awaited show that stars Nicole Kidman as Lucille Ball, of course, and Javier Bardem as Desi Arnaz. And a lot of people weren't real happy with the casting choices, but let me tell you, Aaron Sorkin, who wrote and directed this, is pretty amazing. We've said that many times over the years. His dialogue, he's one of the masters at writing dialogue.
Right. Well, you got West Wing and Newsroom.
American President. Yeah, so many great things. But this looks really good. They're not doing they're not doing exact copies of these iconic people. Impressions, if you will.
No.
But pretty damn close.
It's a backstory, right, of how she became to be.
No. Nope. It's
That's what I got from the trailer. It's
one week in the middle of their run. So it's at the height of their popularity of I Love Lucy show. The whole thing takes place in 1 week. And it's mostly behind the scenes looking at their relationship as a married couple.
Right.
And her relationship as the first female head of a studio and the pressures that came with that.
Yeah.
So that's what it's about. It's not an origin story.
Oh, see, that's what I thought. That's what I got from the trailer. I didn't know it was a week.
I bet there will probably be another trailer out before, like in the next month or so, because this was kind of more of a teaser trailer. So maybe we'll get a better idea.
It was very good.
It's very good.
It makes me want to watch it. I mean, because people are having hesitations when Nicole Kidman was the one who was cast as Lucy, right?
Yeah.
So it looks pretty darn good, but there's not a lot of close-up in the trailer of her, so you don't get to see her. You see her,
you see her
and it's kind of fuzzied
from
out.
the side, or
right.
So we shall see. That's Amazon Prime coming December 21st. You guys can watch it at Christmas time.
There you go. Hey, Amazon Prime's Jack Ryan has been renewed for a 4th season. If you're a fan of the Globetrotting series, then you know you've been waiting a very long time for the series 3 premiere, which has not...
It doesn't even have a date.
No, it doesn't even have a date. It's been since October 31st, 2019, when season 2 premiered.
Right.
And they dropped all the episodes all at once. So if you binged it all in a day, you've been waiting
2 years.
2 years.
And we still don't have a date for the 3rd season.
Nothing.
But they've gone ahead and said they're going to make a 4th. So they're way ahead of themselves, aren't they?
Right. But you do realize, and I know that there's a lot of studios who's like, oh, the pandemic has kind of set us back. But this one, I can 100% agree because it's filmed in multiple countries.
Yeah.
All over the world.
It's a huge epic. Yeah.
Yeah. So if anything was harmed by the pandemic, it was being able to get to these locations to be able to film Jack Ryan.
Yeah. Well, I have to say I have not seen it, but I am a huge fan of John Krasinski from The Office and A Quiet Place. And he's very funny. He also does drama pretty well. Very excited to know that it's going to continue for all those people that love it. I know my parents love it. They watch it all the time.
Yeah, I watched season 1, loved it. It has since got away from me.
Yeah.
But I suspect if don't know what we're talking about, if you like Homeland, you'll
Very
probably
similar.
like Jack Ryan.
Like that. Now, of course, he is, John Krasinski's the 5th actor to play this iconic character from, of course, it started as a book.
Yeah, I don't know the history of Jack Ryan.
It was a Tom Clancy book.
Tom Clancy, I know
a series
that.
Of Tom Clancy books.
But I never read the books.
Jack Ryan has been around since the 80s, and he's been played by Alec Baldwin in The Hunt for Red October on the submarine.
There you
He's been played by Harrison Ford. He's been played by Ben Affleck, and most recently Chris Pine. Those were all the actors. We know all of those actors very well. They've all played Jack Ryan in one way or another in movies.
Right.
And now John Krasinski is doing it on Amazon Prime's
I love the first
series. Yeah.
I should go back and watch season 2 while there's still no date yet for.
Got it. Good
Unless
idea.
they surprise us and they have it in the can and it's ready to go for the 31st, exactly 2-year anniversary. We'll keep our eye on it. If it happens to come out next week during a Halloween episode, I'll bring it up. But.
All right. So I will spend my evenings, because I've been watching old Dallas reruns from the 80s. I will stop. I will watch Jack Ryan season 1 so that when we can watch season 2 together.
Yeah.
How about that?
It's actually really good.
Yeah. You got some Apple TV news, and Apple doesn't always come out with ratings and numbers like this.
No, because they're on the same line as like Netflix. They're very secretive. But being one of the youngest networks, it may be smart to do that and like get your numbers a little higher. But now, while we're not too fond of the single issue series, The Problem with Jon Stewart, apparently a lot of other people loved it.
Really?
So much so that it became the #1 unscripted show at Apple, beating out Oprah's The Oprah Conversation.
How does Jon Stewart beat Oprah?
Right?
That's unheard of. Maybe Oprah's just been around too long.
I feel like Oprah's more fluff pieces and, I don't know, kind of biographical when it comes to celebrities that she's interviewing. And this is single issue, CNN, 60 Minutes-ish.
And he's doing much darker stuff.
Right.
More hard-hitting stuff.
Right.
More like 60 Minutes, you're right.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's great for Apple. I'm sure Jon Stewart is also pleased with that. Yeah.
That show, the Jon Stewart show, is going to be one of those shows that I'll keep my eye on. And if there's a topic that he's going to be talking about that I might be interested in, I might just tune in for that particular episode.
Yeah, we'll pop back in again and see.
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to be on my always up next waiting for the other episode.
We only watched the first one, and that's never fair to judge an entire series by the first episode.
It wasn't bad.
It wasn't
a
bad.
bad episode. It was kind of behind the scenes, and then you sit down with everyone who's involved and all that stuff.
Yeah,
so.
there you go. We also have Disney Plus news. I'm really looking forward to Disney Plus's new Hawkeye series. It is debuting on November 24th. We already knew that, but what we know now is that we're going to get 2 episodes on November 24th. I believe that's Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And then every Wednesday after that will be 1 episode.
Correct.
We do know that there's only 6 episodes total, so it'll be over by Christmas. And the whole thing is Christmas themed, the whole series, which we're kind of excited about. And Jeremy Renner looks amazing as Hawkeye, and Haley Steinfeld is also on there as his kind of sidekick, I guess. And they need to take care of the baddies so that they can get home for Christmas. That's basically it's all about.
That's right, exactly.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that trailer reminds me of that Bruce Willis movie. That's always the topic of, is it a Christmas movie or isn't?
Right.
Not a Christmas movie.
Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Right, exactly.
But looking at the trailer, series.
Right. But looking at the trailer reminds me a little of Die Hard-ish, a little bit.
Yes, if Die Hard had bow and arrows.
Right. You're such a dick. All right. This is probably, for us at least, the most anticipated news that we have on today's show. And we're talking about Ozark. We do have a premiere date for the 4th and final season of Ozark. It would be 14 episodes split into 2 parts. I think we kind of knew that already.
Yeah.
With part 1 premiering on Friday, January 21st.
Why do we have to wait so long?
I know.
It's already in the can. Why can't they just put it out now?
And for the life of me, I could not figure out how long the break is before the part 2, the last 7.
Yeah, we don't know.
Episodes.
They haven't released that information. Of course, we know that on Friday, January 21st, we'll get 7 episodes all at
Right.
once. So people will binge it, and Entertainment Weekly will start talking about the spoilers by noon that day, as they are wont to do. We won't do that to you guys. We'll give you some time to actually watch it.
For one, because Entertainment Week has probably already seen it.
Probably.
And they've already written the story, and they're just going to release it on.
But I hate how they put these, they sum up the entire series the day it comes out. It's like,
I know.
give people a chance to watch it. Most people are still at work, Entertainment Weekly.
Right.
Anyway, there's a new date announcement video out. It's only a minute long. It's new footage, mostly of exteriors. The exteriors we know, their house, the casino, the trailer down by the river.
Right.
There's not much there, but you hear the characters' voiceovers in this new trailer.
Well, to me, it looks like if you remember the very first kind of teaser, it was with the birds in the bathroom kind of wiping off.
Don't say anything else. It would be a spoiler if you say anything else. I think
It'd be a spoiler for something that's a previous
if people
season.
didn't watch the end of season 3 yet.
Well, they should be up on their game now.
It has been a while.
But I'm going to say it looks like, though, because the trailer's already out. I'm not saying anything that the trailer hasn't already shown.
Okay, that's
is
fair.
that they're in the bathroom wiping themselves off from the brains of someone who got shot. Well, I'd say that.
Okay.
And then this brand new kind of teaser looks like that they finished up cleaning themselves up and they walking out into the yard of the Mexican
party. There was a party going on.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's what it looks like.
That's fair. If you're only describing what's already out there, then I guess
I haven't seen it, so I gotta.
I know, right? That's all we get so far. I suspect since we have to wait 3 more months for this, that we'll get a full-size 2-minute trailer coming sometime soon.
Yeah.
Where we'll see some more footage to kind of get an idea of what's happening this season.
That would be great.
Yeah. Also, there is news that Halloween Kills, which we talked about last week. We were excited about watching it. We did watch it, and we're going to tell you about that in just a minute. But the box office projections were right, I guess. They made or were surpassed.
Surpassed, yeah.
They made $50 million on opening weekend for Halloween Kills. It was a day-and-date release, so it was available on Peacock, which is why we're talking about it. So people were kind of surprised that so many people went to the theater and actually spent money to watch it.
I actually like this news because if something like this continues to happen where box office projections for something that's going to be day and date is really, really high, that maybe they will continue with day and date.
Yeah.
So you and I would never have to go to the theater ever again.
I don't want to go to the theater ever again. I like watching stuff at home.
Fans of the theater.
We have a very comfortable living room with a big TV and surround sound.
So let's hope that this type of news continues and that the streamers will say, we can just release it everywhere.
Yeah. All right, Dale, I'm going to press this button and then we're going to tell you what we thought of
There you
Halloween
go.
Kills.
Unqualified opinions.
Do you want to go first?
Well, I just tell you, I thought it was hokey.
Well, yes, Halloween Kills is hokey. It's the second of 3 movies that were already announced, and we know we're getting one more. So you already know it's not a spoiler. Michael Myers does not die in this because we already know that there's going to be Halloween Ends next year.
And Jamie Lee Curtis didn't even have that big of a part in it.
Jamie Lee Curtis is, I don't want to give too much away if people haven't watched it yet, because we're certainly going to be putting on this on our list for the Halloween show next week.
Right.
Because it is good, and people who love Michael Myers and love this kind of gross out slasher movie might get a kick out of this. I actually did get a kick out of this. I thought it was fun. I didn't think there was enough Laurie Strode, played by Jamie Lee Curtis. It was more her daughter and granddaughter. But the real star of this show is really Anthony Michael Hall, who we all know from 16 Candles.
He's great.
Breakfast Club.
That.
He is about my age, about 50-something. Looks nothing like he looked back in the 80s in those teen movies. But he really takes up arms to go out and get Michael, since Jamie Lee Curtis really couldn't do that.
I do think, like I said, I thought it was hokey, but I've never been a huge fan of the franchise anyway. But however, with Judy Greer, the only thing, every time I watched her character, the only thing I could think of was her character on 2.5 Men, where she was a hookup for Charlie Sheen.
Yeah.
I couldn't ever
I remember that.
get past that.
You guys will recognize her. She's been in a million things.
Yeah.
But you're right. She's never been kind of like the star of anything.
Right.
But yeah, she does a good job playing Laurie's daughter. I enjoyed the movie. It's silly. There's a lot of plot holes in it that don't make any frigging sense.
Right.
but it's still fun.
It's a fun watch for Halloween. No, that I agree.
And any Bravo fans out there, anybody who loves The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills knows who Kyle Richards is. She's in this. The only reason she's in this, it wasn't stunt casting. She was actually in the original Halloween movie back in 1978, I want to say, as an 8-year-old little girl. So she was, because she was an actress back then and has been off and on throughout the years. And she's in this. I don't want to give away what happens to her. Or if we're going to see her again, that would be giving away too much. I don't want to tell you what happens to Anthony Michael Hall. That would be giving away too much.
Well, then shut up then. Quit mentioning it.
But I did enjoy it. Yes. It was super hokey, but if you love Halloween movies, if you love slasher films, you're going to like it, I believe.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's something, and we'll bring it up again for our Halloween episode next week. But I tell you what, we have 4 things on this list today. Right?
Yeah.
We just did Halloween Kills. The biggest surprise on this list, because I did not have high hopes for this, was I Know What You Did Last Summer, the new series on Amazon Prime.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah,
you got to pay attention when you watch this very first episode.
I know. We watched this night before last. This is a bunch of teenagers that are stalked by a mysterious killer a year after a fatal accident on the night of their graduation. So it sounds exactly like, of course, the movie I Know What You Did Last Summer from 20-something years ago. But man, this is very different from that.
Very, very different.
I think basically the only 2 things that are the same is the title of the show,
right,
which is now a show, not a movie, and the general idea that there's someone out there who knows what happened a year ago, and they're terrorizing these kids.
And so far, 1 episode in, that's all that looks similar.
Yes, but it's very, very different.
Right.
These kids are rich kids mostly. It takes place in Hawaii instead of some sleepy New England town, which was different. I didn't expect that to happen.
Yeah.
And I don't want to give away any spoilers, but what Dale said was very important. You need to watch the first episode very closely because there's a huge major plot twist, which you could easily miss.
If it wasn't for you, I would have missed it.
Yeah.
You got to pay attention to the names that they're saying. Because if you don't, you're going to go into episode 2.
Small little things that you really need to pay attention to.
Because if not, you're going to go in episode 2 thinking, what the hell?
Maybe in episode 2, they will more identify this thing, this big twist. But I really enjoyed it. The characters are great. There's no big names in this. I don't know any of these names of the people that are in this movie, in this series, but I really enjoyed it. It's well acted, well filmed. Hawaii. Who doesn't want to watch a series set in Hawaii? I'm excited to see where it goes. And it's super creepy and super perfect for October.
It looks like it's going to be, I hope that it's going to continue to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And be slightly different from the movies.
Yeah, and just to be clear, everyone, that's on Amazon Prime. I don't think we mentioned that.
We also got into Acapulco. I can't say that really fast. On Apple TV Plus, which premiered last Friday. We got 1 episode. No, 2
We've
episodes.
Watched 2, yeah.
Into this. It's just a great story to follow. There's nothing really big about it, but I'm enjoying it.
It's a comedy.
Yeah.
It takes place at upscale resort in Acapulco in Mexico.
In the 80s.
And it's all done in flashback. So it's this character talking to his grandson about how he got to where he is today.
Right.
And it's really fun. It's fun. The main character, Maximo, is a cabana boy by the pool, and how he helps his family by, doing what he can to get as many tips as possible.
Right.
The show is very colorful. It's very funny. There's lots of great supporting characters in there that just make it fun. It's just a fun thing to watch.
When we first heard about
heavy.
Right, no, it's not heavy at all. And when we first learned about this show premiering on Apple TV, we saw the trailer and we immediately thought of White Lotus.
Yeah.
That couldn't be further from
nothing like White Lotus. Right.
from White Lotus.
Yeah.
It's completely whole different. It's a comedy. It's just a fun, nice watch.
Yeah.
Nothing heavy.
And it's something the whole family could watch. I mean, kids could easily watch it. It's not dirty in any way, but I'll tell you, something else we're going to talk about later in the show, Acapulco was a lot of Spanish. And we were talking about before we saw this, we didn't know.
Right.
And I said to you, I think there's a lot of Spanish in this because in the trailer you see, the captions on the screen. I would say it's about 25% Spanish.
Yeah.
So you do need to read, if you don't know Spanish, you do need to read the captions that they put on the screen for that part. But about 75% of it's in English.
It's not a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just small scenes.
Yeah.
So even though it's 25% of an episode, it's spread out. It's not a full 25% we're just constantly reading.
Right.
It's fun.
Now we have to be very careful about this next one.
Yeah, go for it.
Only Murders in the Building on Hulu. So we've been talking about this for weeks and weeks. We finally finished it, as everyone else did, because the last episode just came out this past week. And I really enjoyed the series.
I did too.
And I think it was a sleeper hit of the fall,
Right.
really.
It's that show. They basically make fun because true crime podcasts are like all the rage right now.
Huge.
They've gotten so big that you actually have to pay for them now, like a monthly subscription, and you can do all that. And this show kind of pokes fun at it a little. Like the kids that are outside, the fans that are outside the apartment building waiting to see camping out.
Yeah.
It kind of pokes fun at it, but the ending, wow. Well, we can already say, it's been confirmed that it has been renewed for a second season.
Well, and you kind of wonder when you watch the last episode, even the last 30 seconds of the episode, you wonder, well, maybe they already knew that they were getting picked up for a second season because it definitely ends in a cliffhanger.
Right.
So Martin Short is amazing in this. Steve Martin, of course, is on top of his game. And Selena Gomez, she's okay. I mean,
she's not the best.
She doesn't put a lot of super emotion into her acting, but she's very capable and she is funny in this. But this is really all about Steve Martin and Martin Short. They make this so much fun.
Exactly.
Highly recommend this. You guys could watch this in one evening. Each episode's only half an hour.
Less than that, I think.
Yeah, and it's super fun. And I can't wait for season 2 on Hulu.
It'll probably be here
late next year, maybe?
Probably 2025.
We'll
see how the winter goes.
Find out.
New shows are coming your way. It's coming soon.
Hey, we got a few for you this week. We wanted to let you know that on November 5th, coming to Netflix is Narcos Mexico Season 3. I watched the original Narcos. I have not watched the Mexican ones.
Yeah.
But big news. But you found out something that I didn't know.
So the original Narcos focused on the Colombia drug trade and drug war. And this one takes place in Mexico, and this is the third and final season of the Mexico kind of offshoot, I guess.
Right.
It's kind of like CSI Las
Law and
Vegas,
Order.
CSI, downtown Detroit, whatever. They have so many of them. Diego Luna will not be returning for this third season. He was kind of the breakout star of the first 2 seasons. He's not in this third season. But there are some other good people like Carlo Bernard and Doug Miro and the other great people. And if you guys don't know, this is a new generation of cartel leaders vying for power, and also the journalists who are on the hunt for the truth while government agents walk a thin line between justice and corruption. We got to end this war on drugs. Everybody thinks so. I don't know why we can't just end it and legalize drugs and get rid of all these problems, but people don't.
That's for another show.
So while I was reading about the series, I saw that, I didn't know this, back in late 2017, one of the location scouts for the show was actually murdered in central Mexico near where they were going to be filming this series, and they never solved his murders. They think maybe, the authorities down there in Mexico think maybe that it could have been a narco gang involvement, but they have no idea because no one witnessed it. He was out there by himself in a remote location, and it's never been solved.
Wow.
So it's kind of scary.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man. Hey, coming also on November 14th to Paramount Plus is Mayor of Kingstown. We talked about this right when news broke out about it. This looks great. I love the people who are in it.
Yeah.
The mayor of Kingstown follows the McCluskey family, power brokers in Kingstown, Michigan, where the business of incarceration is the only thriving industry.
Yeah, so there's a main prison in this town, and it kind of reminds me of that show, that Breakout movie that we watched. Oh, what was the name of that?
That was based on a true story. That was a great show.
It was great. We're going to figure it out and let you know. But yeah, it's very dark. I mean, this is not a colorful series.
No.
It's a lot of crime going on. Prison towns have a lot of drama where everybody works at the prison.
Right,
and,
especially if it's real small town.
yeah. there's been a lot of prison stuff with Oz and Orange is the New Black and other stuff. But this is talk about hardworking guys in streaming. Jeremy Renner's in this too. So Hawkeye, he's not playing Hawkeye, but he has something to do. I don't know if he's the chief of police or he's the head of the prison or something, but it will be interesting. But also great people in this. Diane Wiest, who we absolutely love. She's been in a million things. She does really well, drama and comedy. And then Kyle Chandler.
From Bloodline and Netflix.
Bloodline and Friday Night Lights.
Bloodline was one of Netflix's earliest, one of the early originals, right?
Yeah.
When originals started to become a thing for a streaming service. So
so these guys this is their new thing. Streaming is the new thing. This is the Mayor of Kingstown. I think I would definitely be checking out Paramount Plus November 14th. There are 10 episodes total.
Yeah. Hey, Will Smith is going to star in a new film titled King Richard, coming to HBO Max on November 19th. It follows the journey of Richard Williams, an undeterred father instrumental in raising two of the most extraordinary gifted athletes of all time. And who are we talking about? Venus and Serena Williams.
Yeah, this is really good. This is a day and date release, so you guys can go see it in the theaters or watch it on HBO Max, but only if you have the ad-free plan of HBO Max, and only in the United States, and only for 31 days. I don't know where it goes after it leaves.
It goes to rental.
It goes to rental, and then it'll eventually will come back, probably.
Right. Yeah.
When I first saw this King Richard, I thought maybe it was a period piece. It is not.
It makes it sound that way.
Yeah. But this will be very interesting, where it's basically an origin story to find out how Venus and Serena came to be the great powerhouses of tennis that they've become.
Yeah.
Excited about that. It looks really good.
Well made.
Yeah.
Last on our list is coming to Hulu on November 19th is The Great, second season starring Elle Fanning and Nicholas Hoult. You guys know this. Very funny. The season 2, 4 months after launching a coup against her husband, a pregnant Catherine the Great gains the upper hand in her war against Peter.
Now, if you guys don't know this, it's very funny. They call it anti-historical, loosely based on the facts. So, although it's about Catherine the Great and her husband Peter, they've completely done whatever they wanted. This is not based on reality.
It's so funny
at all. The first season was 10 episodes, came out in 2020, and this next episode, we're going to get 3 episodes on November 19th. And then the subsequent 7 will come out maybe once a week. Is that how they're going to do it over at Hulu?
Yes.
It's really funny, and I actually want to go. We love Nicholas Hoult, so I want to go back and watch it.
Yeah.
I forgot to get in on this.
I loved him ever since Warm Bodies came out. I like Nicholas Hoult a lot.
He was so good in that.
Yeah.
What's funny about this, if you guys don't know, Catherine the Great and Peter were, the head of Russia back in the I don't know what century, but instead of doing Russian accents, every actor in this film has an English accent.
Because they're all English, I believe.
I guess
Nicholas
they are.
Hoult is English, I do know.
I don't understand why people don't want to use the accents to the people that they're portraying, but I get it. Anyway, it's very it's very Bridgerton-ish.
The way it's filmed, it looks very much.
But I think it's more slapstick comedy than
Nicholas Hoult and Elle Fanning play well together.
They do
on this series. This is fun. So if you have no idea what we're talking about, it's The Great on Hulu. Season 2 drops on the November 19th, so you have time to catch up.
I'm ready to binge for season 1 tonight.
I know.
Yeah.
We're gonna tell you what to watch this week. It's time for Up Next.
This one's a fun one for you.
Yeah.
First on our list, and this actually premiered yesterday, we're talking about Snoop and Martha's Very Tasty Halloween. It's a little special they've put together, a competition special, rather, featuring talented bakers who face off in a delectable Halloween showdown.
I love this. It's just a short 52-minute special, one-off. It's not a series.
People are watching this for the interactions of Snoop and Martha and could care less about the bakers on the television.
Everyone knows how well Snoop and Martha do with each other. They're actual real best friends in real life, which is very unconventional and unconventional. You know what I mean? Unconventional.
There you go.
Anyway, they work well together. And what's interesting about this, so there's teams of 3 bakers that are tasked with baking and building a full sensory 12 by 12 foot Halloween world that people can literally explore, taste, and devour. And of course, the concept is of fear. It has to be scary because it's Halloween. Now, how they're doing this in a 52-minute special, the whole thing, it sounds like it would be a multiple episode
episode, right.
But I guess it's just a one day. They had to build it, and then Snoop and Martha come along, and
they're busy.
They judge it.
Can't do a series.
There you go. Anyway, that it was streaming as of yesterday, so you guys can watch it right now.
There you go. Hey, probably the most anticipated film, at least of the second half of the year.
Yeah.
We're talking about Dune. It premieres today on HBO Max. The son of a noble family is entrusted with the protection of the most valuable asset and most vital elements in the galaxy.
Now, of course, this is based on the 1965 novel of the same name by Frank Herbert, who it's a huge science fiction novel that is beloved by people who like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And of course, it was also made into a 1984 film by David Lynch, which did not do so well with critics, but it does have its fans.
Right.
There are a lot of people out there who really, really love it. However, this one is getting, as far as I know from the early reviews that are out, it's getting really good reviews because it was
Looks
once
great.
It was called unfilmable because of the subject material, but apparently they did a good job. It's getting 84% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Nice.
It's also a day and date, so HBO has it HBO Max, but you can also go to the theaters tonight and watch it on the big screen.
There you go. This might be one you might want to go to the theater for if you can on like a Tuesday afternoon.
It's a big one.
Yeah. Last on our list is Invasion on Apple TV Plus. Premieres today, starring Sam Neill. You know, Jurassic Park, baby. You gotta love Sam Neill. Extraterrestrial beings have made their way to Earth from across the universe. Civilization could collapse, and survival is up to you.
Now, we've talked about this before when we were first announcing that it was coming. I think it was on Coming Soon a couple of weeks ago. This is huge. You talk about the budget that Apple TV Plus is putting behind their series. We talked about Foundation and all the money they were spending on that. They spent more on this. The reported budget was $200 million for this 10-episode first season.
Wow.
I don't know that there's going to be a second season because it may be that the aliens completely destroy the Earth. I don't know. But one thing that you mentioned the last time we talked about this is each episode is from a different vantage point somewhere around the world.
I think so. That's what I read.
That's what it really looks like.
Right.
Yeah. So you're seeing how the Chinese are dealing with it. You're seeing how the French are dealing with it. You're seeing how we deal with it.
Right.
I know that the military is involved, and I don't know what these extraterrestrials look like. We don't really get a picture of it in the trailer.
Well, you're going to get 3 episodes today to figure it out.
I know. So I said
they make an appearance in the first 3.
I know. I said I wanted to go back and watch The Great tonight, but maybe we need to be watching Invasion tonight.
The second season of The Great doesn't come out till November, so we can certainly get through Invasion before the Series 2 premiere of The Great.
Got it. Well, I'm excited about all this. Where are we going to find enough time?
We say that every week, but we want to thank you for listening to this episode of the Binge Bump Podcast. Remember, next week is our Halloween episode. If you like our show, be sure to rate us wherever you like to listen to your favorite podcast. We'll be back next week, and in the meantime, happy binging. Yeah, go for it.